Hello and welcome to the final episode of Odds and Ends, Season 3. In this episode we'll cover Lentil introgression. Introgression is where crossbreeding between a conventional cultivar and an experimental line or wild specimen occurs. The resulting hybrids then crossbred repeatedly with other conventional cultivars until the ideal ratio of conventional and experimental/wild traits is achieved. Lentils are a crop utilized extensively within the Indian subcontinent, West Asia, Ethiopia, North Africa, parts of Southern Europe, Oceania, and parts of North America, specifically within their cropping systems. Within India, all modern cultivars can be traced back to 35 genetic lines, with 10 of them making up 30% of the overall gene pool. A similar situation exists in the above-mentioned regions and nations. To bulk up the gene pool, an interest in using wild relatives to integrate beneficial traits into wild cultivars has been accomplished. The above species can be seen on screen right now. These species were tested by various researchers for use in getting the following traits: tolerance of abiotic stresses, biotic stresses such as diseases, and improved flowering time. Traits of interest can be seen on screen alongside species that have been found to have these traits. Within the realm of abiotic stress, cold hardiness seems to be the easiest to integrate into conventional cultivars. Within the Turkish highlands, there are several land races of common lentil that are cold hardy as well as four breeding lines have been developed from said lineages. Cold hardiness, like most abiotic stress traits, is controlled by a great many genes and is quantitative in nature. 42% of the cold hardness variation is controlled by genes found in 7 regions or QTLs in the above lineages. As for drought tolerance, this trait is an amalgamation of several different traits, including water stress, tolerance, early seedling growth, high vigor, rapid soil coverage, high biomass, early flowering, and early maturity. All the above traits have been found within specimens of Lentil culinaris subspecies orientalis, wild ancestor of the common lentil. 2 experimental lines with these traits have been made using the species. Advanced breeding lines have also been made through selection of the populations of Lentil nigricans, a drought-tolerant species found in the northwest Indian hill region. Salt tolerance, like the previous forms of abiotic stress resistance, is quantitatively controlled. Wild specimens of Lentil culinaris subspecies orientalis have been identified with salt tolerance. These have been collected and maintained for breeding work. Going into biological diseases, specimens of different lentil subspecies have been found to be resistant to fusarium. 4 genetic lines of Lentil culinaris subspecies orientalis and Lentil culinaris subspecies odomensis have been found with such traits. 4 genetic lines derived from old land races also have such traits. 1 genetic line of the wild species, Lentil eryvoides, also has such traits. On an experimental level, several specimens of Lentil culinaris subspecies orientalis and Lentil nigricans are currently being tested for resistance to fusarium. Multiple wild specimens of Lentil eryvoides and Lentil culinaris subspecies orientalis have likewise been tested and been found to be resistant to powdery mildew. As you can see from a stress standpoint, both biotic and abiotic, there are several options out there for introgression. From a flowering perspective, early flowering and seeding allows for the avoidance of dry periods and cold periods. This corresponds with the limiting or prevention of losses caused by environmental stresses during the grain filling period and the grain maturing period of the crops. In 1999, an Indian research project was completed to test out and figure out which lines would be well suited for incorporating early flowering times into conventional cultivars. The result was the identification of 12 landrace derivatives and 1 wild specimen that was early flowering. As of right now, all the above lines are currently being used in introgression experiments or testing for compatibility for introgression purposes. And these lineages may be in the pedigree of future conventional cultivars of lentil in the future. And that about covers everything. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you really enjoyed it and think you can donate, you can do so at Buy Me a Coffee, link in the description below. Thank you for watching.